jointly vis-a-vis Iran? Do we see them talking about agreeing or disagreeing about settlement policy and what it means for the future of Israeli-Palestinian peace talks? Do we see them talking about the Islamic State? So there's a lot of details they could potentially flesh out. And again, you're coming into this summit with two leaders who like each other. This seems to be a very different dynamic than we saw with Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Obama. But the fact that two leaders get along well, see the world in similar terms, doesn't necessarily mean they can agree on the precise steps their two countries need to take. And so that's the question that people will be paying attention to and seeing what are the tangible results of the summit meeting. Bob, let's stay on this national security theme. As you know, the Munich Security Conference convenes at the end of next week. It's going to attract defense and security officials from a range of countries, as well as international organizations. Vice President Mike Pence will lead the U.S. delegation. He's also expected to give a major address to the conference. Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis and Homeland Security Chief John Kelly are also expected to attend the conference. At the top of the agenda, not surprisingly given the location of Munich, will be transatlantic relations, the state of NATO, and EU cooperation. That means we're going to hear a lot of talk about the crises in Ukraine, Syria, and even a little bit about Asia Pacific. Is there anything in particular you'll be keeping an eye on, Bob?
Certainly. This meeting is one that we look at, we've started looking at annually in this podcast because it is seen as more often than not a bellwether for the state of both transatlantic relations as well as what are the abiding security concerns in the world. This year it's significant. It's looming to be one of the more significant gatherings of this type, especially because of the topic of Russia. And Russia has loomed large in this conference in the past. As we discussed previously, this is where Vladimir Putin came about 10 or 12 years ago to really lay out strong markers about Russia's policy towards expansion of NATO. Very strong terms, sort of cast a pall over that session. It was followed by the famous reset where Vice President Biden came and kicked off what was hoped to be a sort of a new chapter in U.S.-Russian relations. And in between it, there's been a great deal of discussion about NATO, about what was happening in the Middle East. Previously, the Arab Spring came up quite a bit. The Iran nuclear discussions, an annual feature. And Iran will be on the agenda certainly as well this year. Foreign Minister Zarif is going to be there. Now, Vladimir Putin is not going to attend this year, but his Foreign Minister Lavrov is going to be there. Russia will be a presence at this conference. And the other significant thing, though, obviously, is the new U.S. administration, the new signals it's been giving out in terms of its how it regards the transatlantic relationship, the viability of NATO.